Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. On this week's video, I am taking 10 thrifted baskets and upcycling them to either use in my home or resell in my booth. If you want to see how these baskets turn out, stick around. So it turns out baskets are selling for me, and that works out really well because when I go to the thrift store, I cannot leave a good basket behind. So that is evident with my little basket collection that I went through before deciding on which ones to do for this video today. So I am going to use a number of techniques. Some of them are going to be big transformations and some of them are just going to be little tweaks on taking thrifted items that I liked either them as is or the bones of them and upcycling them and putting them in my booth. Guys, if you like this video at the end, I would love it if you gave me a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to all so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you have friends that love the same kind of content, I would love it if you would share to help YouTube know that you want others to watch this channel just like you do.
So let's get started with the first basket. I got this basket trying to replace that one that got away. It's not quite the same. As you can see, there's some damage on the front, but it was only $3.09, and I thought it would be a good tall piece to put in the back of a vignette and kind of cover up that corner. So I'm sorry about the lighting. This particular day, the video got really washed out, but I'm showing you here how this basket has a lot of orange to it when you compare it to that other light tan basket. So I'm going to use Waverly in the color ink, mix it with water, and just make a black wash to try to take this orange out of the basket. So this is a really watered down black wash, just putting it over once, wiping it back and letting it dry. Don't panic because it does dry better. Now I'm using this IOD brocante transfer. Disregard the Eiffel Tower that I put this away wrong and kind of messed up my Eiffel Tower, but this one turned out okay. So I cut it because it was a little too tall for the area, and I'm pretty happy with this. Always remember to burnish it, especially into the fabric. And then I did a hot glue while having it in the center and just doing half at a time. And I'm pretty happy with the results. Next, I'm going to work on this other basket. I believe I got it for around $1, and it is fine color-wise, but I kind of wanted to add some age, so I just did a watered-down antiquing wax. I only did one coat on this one, let it dry, and kind of did the same thing as last one. Got some drop cloth that I got on Amazon, made sure I washed the drop cloth to kind of soften it up. And then I have found that just making a little cut and ripping it is the best way for me to get a straight line. I can't seem to cut in a straight line, but when I rip it, it gets like the wear that I like on the edge. So I did another IOD brocante transfer. I'm trying to use up this thing and I'm getting so many projects out of it. So I am going to do this particular transfer on the side and let me know. Do you like it? This next basket is very similar to the last. I got it for $1 and I wasn't going to antique wax it, but look at the color difference. I totally love the watered down antiquing wax. So everything's out, so go ahead. I did one coat of just a watered down antiquing wax. There was a little bit of a break in the side of this one that I mended with some hot glue. And this is really a testament when I used the transfers on this one to just keeping all the scraps. The scraps that I used on this one were literally like edges of leaves and words that were from other ones. And I'm pretty happy that I kept those things and have a very cheap upcycle that I'm going to sell in my booth. For project number 4, I'm just going to show you how buying a very sturdy basket for $6, even if it's not the right color, is totally worth it because this is a solid basket for $6. So I, full disclosure, probably used about 2 cans of spray paint. This pink did not want to get covered up. I think all the little spaces are pretty small, so every time I'd step away from it, there was more pink. But I did 2, let's just say 1.5 cans of the spray paint and probably did 2 to 3 coats, just grabbing from different angles just because there were so many different angles where you could still see the pink. Now, this next one is not normally in my color story, but I decided to live a little. So there is some orange in this. I think I paid $2 or $3 for this, and did the black wash on this as well, just to kind of take some of the orange out. I don't feel like it changed the color a super lot, but I'm glad that I tried. And if this was staying in my home, I probably would do something a little extra to it, either just paint it white or something like that. But thought, you know what, I'm going to put as much of my style to it as I can and try to sell it in the booth and see how it goes. So I did 1 coat of this, and then do you guys have trouble, like when you're doing words, trying to decide what word to do? I'm like, do I do home? Do I do... I don't know, like I just came in a loss. So I was like, you know what, how about cozy? Because this is how I like to feel, clearly. So let's put this in here and see if it sells. So I'm just spacing it out on the little piece of plastic that comes with these IOD typesetting stamps. And just gonna turn it over and make sure I keep my hand on the stamps at all times, and then just kind of rub it in pretty heavy. When you do it in the fabric, you just want to make sure you get it on there pretty heavy, heavy-handed with how you're pushing the stamp in, and then pull it up. And since I'm using permanent ink, I like to clean my stamps with a baby wipe immediately. It just makes things go a lot smoother. and not have to scrub. If you do let the ink dry on there, just some warm water and some Dawn dish soap in the sink will work to clean these up as well. Project number 6 was just precious the way I bought it. I got it for $1.69, but as you can see, the little hinges were very dried out and busted. So I decided to get some jute twine. I believe this one was from Walmart, but they've got some at the Dollar Tree as well. And just made my own hinges with the twine and just thought this looked like a cute little mini sewing box and would look cute in anyone's decor. So this basket, I opened my booth with it as is. And you know what? I was looking in my booth. I'm like, I wouldn't put this in my house. So why is it in my booth? So I brought it home and I did a very watered down antiquing wax to it to kind of make it look older. I think my big problem with this is I did not like this weird fabric leather stuff that's on it. So I tried just the watered down antiquing wax and that still did not do enough. So I ended up just putting, with a wet brush, putting my brush straight into the antique wax and did that over both the basket and the handles, and it kind of made the handles look a little bit more authentic. I don't know that this is truly my favorite outcome, but I think it definitely improved it a lot. And when it's stacked with other things, I think it could look really neat. This next basket, I think I paid $1 for it, but it had like these orange colors and this green color. So I decided to just do 2 coats of spray paint to it. And then it was a little too white, too brand new looking. And so I just went over it with like a watered down antiquing wax to make it look a little bit more dingy. And I wiped that back, and that is the end of this makeover, because you know what? Some of them should be a little bit simpler. So project number 9 came from my personal collection, and guys, I have always hated this thing. I don't even know how we got it, whether it was a gift basket or something. And I was like, should I just pitch this? And I was like, wait a second, let's try to upcycle it before I pitch it. So the first thing I'm going to do is get all this iron stuff off the front. I was going to try to keep the handles on the side, but then I realized that they were not attached very well, so I took those off too. Then, because it is such a shiny surface, I kind of like the color of the inside, but the outside had that orange shininess to it. So I just took Rust-Oleum, chalked linen white, and did a dry brush technique over the top of the basket, and then sanded that down a little bit, covered it with a clear top coat. Since this is a chalked paint, I wouldn't want something to spill on this or whatever and just soak right into the paint. And I know I said I was doing a dry brush technique, but you didn't see me unload my brush at all. The thing about it being a basket is it's just a very light hand, so it reaches the top spaces and doesn't, you're not trying to get down into the deep crevices here. And then, as you can see, this handle wasn't quite attached, so went ahead and removed that. In addition, I was going to leave the inside natural, and then the white started coming through, so I decided to do white on the whole thing and then did a clear coat. Because it was a white basket, I was going to try to use burlap on the outside instead of a drop cloth, and I did a little test with a broken transfer, and I did not like how this turned out, so we will not be doing that. As you can see, there are too many holes in it and it looks not good. So that is a no. So we're just going to do the burlap behind it, and just to add some brown back to the front. And this transfer that I have, I'm going to put a link. I found it on Amazon, and I've used it quite a bit. It's not an IOD product, I know, but I still think it's cute, especially for little girls. There's lots of butterflies and flowers in it. So let me know, did you guys like this? I did, because I was ready to throw it away, and I think it looks so much better.
So what did you think? I am excited to have 10 more baskets to put in my booth. Anything that you can buy for $3 and sell for $24 to $28 is a great upcycle and a great profit in my book, especially with just a little bit of work. So I hope that you look at baskets a little differently when you go through the thrift store, and if there are good bones, maybe think, should I leave this behind, or can I use this in my own home or sell in my booth? So thank you guys so much for stopping by. I'm gonna leave you guys with a little video of Mr. Henry doing his little prairie dog thing. I could never catch it on video, and he was feeling quite spunky the other day, and I finally caught it on video. So for those of you guys who stuck to the end, check out Henry. See you next week, guys. Bye.